part of the controlling process, contract management is where you ensure that you receive what you have been promised. The project manager plays a key role in ensuring all deliverables are obtained as well as ensuring the supplier is on track to provide them. Select the appropriate response plan if necessary and reporting accordingly. Encompasses all dealings between the performing organization and the contractor from the time the contract is awarded until the work has been completed and accepted or the contract terminated, payment has been made, and disputes have been resolved. Purpose of contract management. The primary goal of contract management is to ensure that the project receives what has been promised in the contract. Responsibility of the project manager. The project manager plays a crucial role in overseeing contract management. They are responsible for ensuring that all deliverables, as outlined in the contract, are obtained. Monitoring supplier performance. The project manager is also tasked with ensuring that the supplier, contractor, is on track to provide the promised deliverables. This involves actively tracking the progress of the supplier throughout the project. Response planning. The project manager is expected to select an appropriate response plan if any issues or deviations from the contract arise. This implies that the manager should be prepared to address and manage deviations or unexpected situations. Reporting. The project manager is responsible for reporting on the status of contract management. This reporting likely includes updates on deliverables, supplier performance, and any deviations from the original plan. Scope of contract management. Contract management encompasses all dealings between the performing organization, the one carrying out the project, and the contractor, the supplier or external entity. It spans the entire duration of the contract, from the time it is awarded until the work is completed and accepted. Completion and resolution. The contract management process continues until the work specified in the contract is completed and accepted. It also includes activities related to payment, resolution of any disputes that may arise, and the eventual termination of the contract. In summary, contract management is a critical component of the controlling process in project management. It involves the project manager overseeing the fulfillment of contractual obligations, monitoring supplier performance, responding to issues, and ensuring effective communication and reporting throughout the contract's life cycle. Project manager, focusing on two main objectives: ensuring that the organization receives the desired product and ensuring fair payment for the contractor's work. Additionally, specific tasks are identified to achieve these objectives. Ensure that the organization gets the desired product. This responsibility underscores the project manager's role in overseeing the project to ensure that the final product aligns with the organization's expectations and requirements. Ensure that the contractor gets paid fairly for the work done. The project manager is also responsible for managing the financial aspect of the project, ensuring that the contractor is compensated fairly for the services or work they provide. Tasks to accomplish these responsibilities. Hold progress meetings. Progress meetings are a means of regularly assessing and discussing the status of the project. This helps in tracking progress, identifying issues, and ensuring that the project is on course. Quantity verification. This involves verifying the quantity of work completed against the project plan. It ensures that the project is progressing as planned and that the quantity of work aligns with the project's scope. Quality verification. Quality verification involves assessing and confirming that the work performed meets the specified quality standards. This ensures that the final product meets the organization's expectations in terms of quality. Process payments. The project manager is responsible for overseeing the payment process. This includes verifying that the work has been satisfactorily completed before authorizing payments to the contractor, aligning with the fair payment objective. Control change. Change control is crucial in managing project scope and ensuring that any changes to the project are properly evaluated, approved, and implemented. This helps in preventing scope creep and maintaining the project's integrity. In summary, the project manager's dual responsibilities involve ensuring the organization gets the desired product and ensuring fair compensation for the contractor. The listed tasks, such as holding progress meetings, quantity and quality verification, processing payments, and controlling changes, are instrumental in fulfilling these responsibilities and effectively managing the project from both a product and financial standpoint. Supplier sending invoices to a customer for the products or services they have provided. It raises several questions related to the policies and procedures surrounding this invoicing process. Sending financial payment requirements. This refers to the supplier communicating the financial details of the products or services to the customer through an invoice. The invoice typically includes the amount owed, due date, and any other relevant payment information. Policies and procedures in sending invoices. This question addresses the guidelines and steps that the supplier follows when sending invoices. It involves understanding the established protocols for generating, approving, and delivering invoices. Timing of sending invoices. This question seeks to determine the frequency or timing of sending invoices. For example, invoices may be sent weekly, monthly, upon completion of specific milestones, or upon the customer's request. Recipient of invoices. Identifying who within the customer's organization is responsible for receiving and processing invoices. This could be the finance department, accounts payable team, or another designated contact. Contractual agreements. Understanding what the contract between the supplier and the customer specifies regarding invoicing. This includes details such as payment terms, frequency, and any specific conditions related to billing. Payment terms. This involves clarifying the terms of payment mentioned in the contract. For instance, payment may be required weekly, monthly, upon receipt of the invoice, or after a certain phase of the project or service delivery. Other terms and conditions. Checking for any additional terms and conditions in the contract that may impact the invoicing process. This could include late payment fees, discounts for early payment, or any special conditions agreed upon by both parties. In summary, the process of sending invoices involves more than just billing for products or services. It encompasses understanding and adhering to established policies and procedures, determining the timing and frequency of invoicing, identifying the appropriate recipient within the customer's organization, and aligning with the contractual terms and conditions, including payment terms. This ensures a smooth and transparent financial transaction between the supplier and the customer. Unpaid invoices from a customer, emphasizing the importance of managing accounts receivable. Here are the key points. Follow up on accounts receivable. This refers to the process of monitoring and managing the amounts owed by customers for the products or services provided by the supplier. It involves tracking payments and following up on any outstanding invoices. Policy on unpaid invoices. This question addresses the established policies and procedures that the supplier has in place for handling unpaid invoices. It involves defining the steps to be taken and the options available to address overdue payments. Options for unpaid invoices. This section outlines various courses of action that the supplier may consider when dealing with unpaid invoices. The options mentioned include sending a statement to the customer. This involves issuing a formal document summarizing the outstanding balance and requesting payment. Placing a lien on the client. This option, mentioned specifically in the context of the Construction Lien Act, allows a supplier to claim a security interest in the customer's property until the debt is settled. Selling the debt. The supplier may opt to sell the unpaid debt to a third party, transferring the responsibility of collection to another entity. Sending to collectors. In cases where internal efforts have not yielded results, the supplier may involve debt collection agencies to recover the outstanding amount. Each option has its implications and considerations, and the choice of action may depend on the severity of the situation, the relationship with the customer, and legal and contractual obligations. It's important to note that legal and regulatory frameworks may vary across jurisdictions, and the supplier should operate within the bounds of applicable laws and contractual agreements when pursuing actions related to unpaid invoices. In summary, managing accounts receivable involves not only tracking payments but also having clear policies and options for addressing unpaid invoices, which may include communication with the customer, legal actions such as placing a lien, if applicable, selling the debt, or involving third-party collectors to facilitate the recovery of outstanding amounts. The customer's perspective when receiving invoices from suppliers and highlights key questions and considerations in managing this financial aspect. Here's a breakdown for better clarity. Receiving invoices from suppliers. This refers to the customer's receipt of invoices from their suppliers, indicating the amount owed for products or services provided. Amount in dispute. This question raises the issue of any discrepancies or disputes regarding the invoiced amount. It prompts the customer to address and resolve any discrepancies before processing payment. Policies and procedures for invoices. This involves understanding the customer's established guidelines and steps for managing invoices. It includes processes for verifying the accuracy of the invoiced amounts, authorization procedures, and reconciliation processes. Payment authorization. Questions related to the authorization of payment, including who within the customer's organization is responsible for signing off on payments. It also addresses considerations such as preferred payment methods, the number of days allowed for payment, and the reconciliation process. Project manager's role. This pertains to understanding the role of the project manager in the invoicing and payment process. The project manager may play a role in reviewing invoices, ensuring alignment with project requirements, and providing necessary approvals. Contractual obligations. Reference to the contract between the customer and the supplier. It emphasizes the importance of understanding what the contract specifies regarding payment terms, invoicing procedures, and any relevant details impacting the financial transactions. Days payable. This refers to the agreed-upon time frame within which the customer is expected to make payments. It's crucial to adhere to the specified days payable mentioned in the contract to maintain a good working relationship with suppliers. In summary, the customer's perspective on invoices from suppliers involves not only receiving and processing invoices but also addressing potential disputes, following established policies and procedures, obtaining proper authorization for payments, understanding the project manager's role, adhering to contractual obligations, and ensuring timely payments within the agreed-upon time frame. Effective management of these aspects contributes to a smooth and transparent financial relationship between the customer and their suppliers. Contract management is a critical aspect of project management, and the project manager assumes the responsibility for overseeing the performance of contractors, either by direct involvement or through a designated contract administrator. Several key principles contribute to successful contractor management. Clear and mutual understanding of the contract. A foundation for successful contractor management lies in ensuring a clear and shared understanding of the terms and conditions outlined in the contract. Both the project team and the contractor should be on the same page regarding expectations, obligations, and deliverables. Maintaining a good business relationship. Establishing and preserving a positive business relationship is crucial, not only for the ongoing project but also for potential collaborations on future endeavors. A healthy working relationship fosters effective communication, collaboration, and mutual trust. Performance standards stated in the contract. The contract should explicitly specify the performance standards expected from the contractor. These standards serve as benchmarks for evaluating the contractor's progress and success in meeting project objectives. In addition to these principles, the project manager is advised to conduct regularly scheduled meetings with the contractor, known as periodic reviews. During these meetings, purpose. The primary goal of these meetings is to gather information on how effectively the contractor is achieving the contractual objectives. This includes assessing progress, addressing challenges, and ensuring alignment with project goals. Frequency. The meetings should be held regularly, providing a structured and consistent platform for communication between the project manager and the contractor. This helps in maintaining open lines of communication throughout the project lifecycle. These periodic reviews are instrumental in fostering transparency, addressing issues promptly, and ensuring that the project stays on track. They serve as a proactive measure to monitor and enhance the contractor's performance, contributing to the overall success of the project. Here's a clearer explanation of each. Administrative change. Administrative changes refer to alterations or modifications in project details that are typically routine, non-substantive, and do not significantly impact the overall scope, cost, or schedule. These changes are often handled administratively without necessitating a formal contractual amendment. Change order. A change order is a formal and documented amendment to the original contract. It outlines modifications to the project scope, schedule, or cost and is typically initiated when there's a need for adjustments beyond what was initially agreed upon. Contract modification. Contract modification is a broad term encompassing any alteration to the terms, conditions, or specifications of a contract. This can include changes to project scope, timelines, deliverables, or any other contractual element. Undefined/under defined contractual action. This refers to a situation where the contract lacks clarity or specificity on certain aspects, leading to ambiguity or uncertainty. Resolving such issues may involve negotiation, clarification, or a formal amendment to the contract. Supplemental agreement. A supplemental agreement is a document that supplements or adds to the terms of an existing contract. It is used when there is a need to address additional matters not covered in the original contract. Constructive change. Constructive change occurs when a change in the project scope or conditions is not explicitly directed by a formal change order or contract modification. It implies that changes have occurred due to circumstances beyond the original agreement, and parties need to address the implications. In summary, change management involves various mechanisms to handle modifications, adjustments, or uncertainties in a project or contractual setting. Whether through administrative changes, change orders, contract modifications, addressing undefined contractual actions, entering into supplemental agreements, or managing constructive changes, these processes help ensure that alterations to the project are documented, agreed upon, and implemented effectively. The listed factors highlight various circumstances that can lead to changes in contracts. Let's delve into each point for a clearer understanding. Oversight of critical items. Failure to address or include important elements in the contract can necessitate changes. Oversight may result from incomplete planning or an inadequate understanding of project requirements. Defective specification with impossibility of performance. If specifications in the contract are flawed, making it impossible for the contractor to perform as intended, adjustments to the contract may be necessary. Erroneous interpretation of contract. Misinterpretation of contract terms or conditions can lead to misunderstandings, requiring clarification and possibly contractual amendments. Overinspection of work. Excessive scrutiny or inspection of work beyond what was initially agreed upon in the contract can lead to disputes and the need for modifications. Failure to disclose superior knowledge. If one party possesses critical information that could affect the contract but fails to disclose it, it may necessitate changes once the undisclosed information comes to light. Acceleration of performance. The need for accelerated project completion may arise due to unforeseen circumstances, triggering the need for changes to the contract terms, such as adjusted timelines or resources. Late or unsuitable owner or customer furnished property. Delays or issues related to the delivery of property or resources by the owner or customer can impact the project and may require contractual adjustments. Failure to cooperate. Lack of cooperation between parties involved in the contract can hinder progress and lead to the need for modifications to ensure collaboration and project success. Improperly exercised options. If options within the contract are not exercised correctly or are misunderstood, it can lead to the need for changes in the agreement. Misusing proprietary data. Improper use or disclosure of proprietary data can result in contractual breaches, prompting the need for adjustments or legal actions. In summary, changes in contracts can arise from various factors, including oversight, flawed specifications, misinterpretations, inspection issues, lack of disclosure, accelerated performance needs, delays in property delivery, lack of cooperation, option mismanagement, and misuse of proprietary data. Effectively managing these factors requires clear communication, collaboration, and, in some cases, formal contract amendments. Disputes and conflicts are inherent in procurement projects and can arise at various stages due to differing interests and perspectives. Let's delve into specific instances where conflicts are likely to occur. Proposal negotiation. Conflicts often emerge during the proposal negotiation phase. Contractors, eager to secure a contract, may concede certain points with the hope of compensating for them later. This initial negotiation sets the tone for the entire project and can be a source of contention. Early kickoff/design meetings. Setting the stage for fair negotiations, profit discussions, and establishing expectations for quality and collaboration are critical during early kickoff and design meetings. The key is to foster a team mindset rather than an adversarial us versus them approach. Change orders. Conflicts can arise during change orders, especially when determining fault, defining scope amendments, and negotiating payment terms. These situations often involve complex discussions about the project's direction and impact on resources. Quality issues. Defining and agreeing upon the correct standard for quality can be a significant source of conflict. Different parties may have varying interpretations of what constitutes quality, leading to disputes over project deliverables. Termination. Issues related to project termination, acceptance, handover procedures, and payment of holdbacks can lead to conflicts. These aspects are sometimes inadequately covered in the Statement of Work, SOW, contributing to disagreements. Delays. Delays in project timelines can rarely be attributed to a single party. Identifying responsibility for delays becomes a common point of contention, and resolving these disputes requires careful examination of the contributing factors. To manage conflicts effectively, it's essential to promote transparent communication, establish clear expectations, and foster a collaborative environment throughout the procurement process. Addressing conflicts early, emphasizing fair negotiation practices, and encouraging a team-oriented mindset can help mitigate disputes and contribute to successful project outcomes. The disputes escalation process outlines the steps and procedures for resolving conflicts that may arise during the course of a contractual relationship. Here's a breakdown of each stage. Resolution by both parties. Ideally, the first step in the disputes escalation process is for both parties involved in the contract to attempt to resolve the issue amicably as soon as it arises. This involves direct communication and collaboration to find a mutually agreeable solution. Formal emails and escalation within each company. If an initial resolution is not reached, the next step involves formalizing the communication process. This may include sending formal emails outlining the nature of the dispute and escalating the matter within each company involved. This stage often involves higher-level management or designated representatives. Letters are sent. To further formalize the dispute resolution process, formal letters are sent to document the issues, concerns, and proposed resolutions. This step provides a written record of the dispute and the attempts made to address it. Mediation, $. If the dispute persists, parties may opt for mediation, which involves a neutral third party facilitating discussions to help the parties reach a resolution. Mediation typically involves a cost, denoted by the $ symbol, and is considered a less adversarial and more cooperative process than escalation to formal legal proceedings. Arbitration, $. If mediation fails to resolve the dispute, the parties may proceed to arbitration. Arbitration involves a neutral third party, the arbitrator, who listens to both sides and makes a binding decision. Arbitration is a more formal process than mediation and involves higher costs, indicated by $. Litigation, $. If all previous attempts at resolution are unsuccessful, the last resort is litigation, where the dispute is taken to court. Litigation is the most formal and expensive method of dispute resolution, marked by the highest cost level, $. Legal proceedings in court involve presenting the case before a judge or jury, and the decision is legally binding. It's important to note that the choice of dispute resolution method is often specified in the contract, and parties may be contractually obligated to follow a particular path. The escalation process is designed to provide a systematic approach to resolving disputes, with each stage offering varying degrees of formality and cost. ADR, mediation. Mediation is a form of alternative dispute resolution, ADR, that involves the intervention of a neutral third party in a dispute or negotiation. The mediator, while facilitating the resolution process, does not have decision-making authority, and the involved parties are not bound to accept any particular outcome. Key characteristics: acceptable, impartial, and neutral third party. The mediator is chosen based on being acceptable to both parties, impartial, unbiased, and neutral. This ensures that the mediator does not have a vested interest in the outcome and can facilitate fair negotiations. No decision-making authority. Unlike an arbitrator or a judge, a mediator does not have the authority to make decisions or impose a resolution. Instead, the mediator guides the parties through the negotiation process and assists them in finding a mutually agreeable solution. Parties not bound to an outcome. Importantly, the parties involved in the mediation process are not obligated to accept any particular resolution proposed by the mediator. They retain the autonomy to either accept or reject the suggested settlement. Role of mediators. Trained in negotiations. Mediators are individuals with specialized training in negotiation techniques. They possess skills to facilitate communication, manage conflicts, and guide parties toward a resolution. Knowledge in the field of dispute. Mediators often have some knowledge in the specific field of the dispute, allowing them to understand the context and dynamics of the issues at hand. This knowledge aids in effective facilitation. Bringing opposing parties together. Mediators bring together the opposing parties involved in the dispute and foster an environment conducive to open communication and negotiation. Settlement or agreement attempt. The primary goal of mediation is to work towards a settlement or agreement that both parties find acceptable. This could be in the form of a written or verbal agreement. Outcome of mediation. Written or verbal agreement. If an agreement is reached, it can be documented in writing or expressed verbally. This agreement can have moral or legal implications, depending on the nature of the dispute and the terms agreed upon. No agreement. In cases where no agreement is reached, the parties are not bound by any decision, and they retain the option to pursue other forms of dispute resolution, such as arbitration or litigation. In summary, Mediation provides a flexible and collaborative approach to dispute resolution, facilitated by a neutral mediator who guides the parties towards a mutually acceptable solution while preserving their autonomy. ADR, arbitration. Arbitration is a form of alternative dispute resolution, ADR, that entails presenting the facts of a dispute to an impartial or neutral individual, arbitrator, or a panel of arbitrators, arbitration panel. The key characteristic of arbitration is that the decision rendered by the arbitrator is binding on the involved parties. Key characteristics: impartial arbitrator or arbitration panel. An impartial or neutral individual or a panel of arbitrators is selected to hear the dispute. These arbitrators are expected to be unbiased and make decisions based on the presented facts and applicable law. Binding decision. Unlike mediation, the decision reached through arbitration is binding. This means that the parties involved are obligated to abide by the decision made by the arbitrator. Finality of decision. The decision of the arbitrator is typically final and conclusive. Parties generally do not have the option to appeal the decision unless there are specific grounds outlined in the arbitration agreement. Role of the arbitrator. Third-party decision-maker. The arbitrator acts as a third-party decision-maker who evaluates the evidence, listens to arguments, and ultimately renders a decision on the dispute. Enforcement of decision. The decision made by the arbitrator is not merely advisory, it is enforceable by the courts. This means that if a party fails to comply with the arbitration award, the other party can seek enforcement through legal channels. Outcome of arbitration. Arbitrator's award. The outcome of arbitration is termed an arbitrator's award. This award serves as the final resolution of the dispute and is binding on the parties involved. Final and binding. The arbitrator's award is not subject to further negotiation or appeal in the absence of specific grounds outlined in the arbitration agreement. It is considered final and binding on the parties. Enforceable by the courts. Courts typically recognize and enforce arbitration awards. If a party refuses to comply with the arbitrator's decision, the prevailing party can seek court assistance in enforcing the award. In summary, arbitration is a formal process of dispute resolution involving an impartial third party or panel whose decision is binding on the parties. The final and enforceable nature of the arbitrator's award distinguishes arbitration from other forms of ADR, providing a structured and legally recognized mechanism for resolving conflicts. ADR, other methods, partnering. Partnering is an alternative dispute resolution, ADR, Method designed to proactively prevent disputes by fostering a commitment between the performing organization and the contractors involved in a specific project. This commitment aims to enhance communication, cooperation, and collaboration, with the overarching goal of preventing conflicts and achieving project objectives efficiently. Partnering is characterized by its informality and focuses on promoting the successful and timely delivery of project objectives at a reasonable cost. Key features of partnering. Preventative approach. Partnering takes a preventative approach to dispute resolution. Instead of waiting for conflicts to arise, the method encourages parties to establish a commitment up front to prevent disputes from occurring during the project. Commitment between organizations and contractors. Partnering involves a commitment between the performing organization, often the client or project owner, and the contractors working on the project. This commitment outlines shared goals, expectations, and a collaborative mindset. Improving communication. A central focus of partnering is to enhance communication between all parties involved. Open and effective communication is seen as a key factor in preventing misunderstandings and potential disputes. Achieving project objectives. The primary goal of partnering is to work collaboratively towards achieving project objectives and deliverables. This includes completing the project on time and within the agreed-upon budget. Informal process. Partnering is conducted through an informal process, emphasizing collaboration and relationship building rather than a rigid formal structure. This informal nature allows for flexibility and adaptability. Project efficiency. By promoting cooperation and understanding, partnering aims to enhance project efficiency. The focus is on creating an environment where all parties work together seamlessly to overcome challenges and ensure the successful completion of the project. Reasonable pricing. Partnering also considers the financial aspect of the project by aiming for reasonable pricing. This involves transparent discussions about costs, budgets, and financial expectations. In summary, partnering is a proactive ADR method that emphasizes collaboration and commitment between the performing organization and contractors to prevent disputes. Through open communication and a shared dedication to project success, partnering creates an environment conducive to achieving project objectives on time and within budget.